Hello, everyone, and welcome to 98.5 WNUW. And this is Coronacast, or as I would like to call it, Reviewcast. I am Amaris Manning, and in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people are feeling stressed and possibly overwhelmed because everything just seems to become a culture shock because we are now issue to keep distance from each other and to also stay in our homes. However, I see this as a golden opportunity because it has given me some crunch time to talk about my favorite thing in the world, books and movies and television shows. But today, I'm going to be telling you about the different books that I have read and the books that I highly recommend for all you book lovers out there. So recently, I took an interest to the book Loki, Where Mischiefs Lie. This book is honestly, I highly recommend for all those geek fan lovers of Marvel comic universe, Marvel set cinematic universe, because this is like everyone's dream, in my opinion. It fulfilled my excitement for uh, what to expect in terms of like a fan fiction, but it doesn't feel like a fan fiction. So here's what I mean by that. The author is Mackenzie Lee. It is a New York Times bestseller, and so I just started reading it recently, and I am already in love with this. So I will read the synopsis from the book itself. So this book takes place before the events of the first Avengers film. So it says here that Loki, it's a much younger Loki, and he wants to prove himself as being heroic and capable, even though everyone suspects him of being villainous and suspicious, except for his friend Amora. And she is Asgard's resident sorceress in training. And she's a kindred spirit, and she has a close bond with Loki. And you immediately see that within the first couple of chapters of the book. She and Loki share a special bond, and they understand each other. They're both misfits in a way, like they're both from the island of misfit toys, and they're navigating through everything together in the best of their ability, and everyone just has high expectations, and they don't seem to fit the standards in some ways, which doesn't make any sense because I personally view Loki as the best character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anyway, but Loki and Amara cause the destructions of one of Asgard's most prized possessions, which will not be unveiled in this review because that is a big surprise, and I'm still reading, as I said, and it is just has me on the edge of my seat to find out exactly like what goes down. Amora is then banished to Earth, where her powers are slowly fading away to nothing, and without the only person who ever looked at his magic as a gift instead of a threat, Loki slips further into anguish in the shadows of his universally adored brother, Thor. So, as you know, if you paid attention to the comics or even this Marvel films at all, Loki and Thor have a complicated bond with each other, and that is very reflected within this book. And I love that to the core. There are moments where I actually feel sorry for Loki with his bond with Thor because he's, trying his best to be a good brother, and it's like Thor just assumes the worst of the worst with him, and it's not fair. And at the same time, I also feel bad for Thor because Thor is trying his best to be a good brother to Loki because he knows his brother, because he knows Loki is going through, judgment from their father. And even though their mother cares for them very much, Thor knows that their pressures from their father also, feeds into the pressures that the views that their mother have on Loki as well. So that I really appreciate. It seems more realistic, It doesn't seem fake. That's why I said it's like a fan fiction, but without feeling like a fan fiction. So I'll get deeper into that after I'm done explaining the summary of it. When Asgardian magic is detected in relation to a string of mysterious murders on Earth, ooh, Odin sends Loki to investigate. As he descends actually upon 19th century London, Loki embarks on a journey that leads him into more than just a murder suspect, putting him on a path to discover the source of his power, who he's meant to be. So that I will, it's so good. Um, so based on what I've read so far, I am currently on chapter, let's see, I'm about to be on chapter 4. I just got into this book. I purchased it a while ago, but I haven't had a chance to actually read it because I've been reading a lot of other books, and I will go into those books a little bit later. Maybe later on in another Corona cast, honestly, or review cast, as I would like to call it, because um, I've been really busy with schoolwork. And, when I was on campus before I came home, I was always up and about doing club activities and also being more invested with not saying that I'm not invested in my studies now, but like I would purposely like make sure that I was spending most of my time in my studies and in my work. I didn't have a lot of free time to sit down and read, the books I wanted to read. So the fact that I'm able to do that now that I'm home, it's such a relief because the last thing I ever want to do in my life is let a good book go to waste. And Loki, Where Mischief Lies, definitely, I highly recommend it. The writing so far is phenomenal. Like I said, I've never felt so, sorry for a character. Like, it's really hard for me to connect with certain characters. Like, I've read The Hunger Games and I hardly connected with the main character, Katniss Everdeen. And, I felt not empty about it, but I felt kind of disconnected from the story because of it. When I'm able to connect with a character from a book, it gives me such a relief because it feels so real. So I really appreciate Lee's writing in that. The fact that she's able to make Loki seem like the most relatable character, especially for people that have siblings, whether they're younger or older, like you're able to reflect and be like, oh, I know that feeling. Yeah, I can totally feel you, buddy. So there's that. It's also a good book for people that, like I said, are fanatics of the Marvel comic universe or Marvel Cinematic Universe, just Marvel period. And it's really enjoyable. It's so far, I think it's good for kids of all ages. I would still check, don't take my word for it. If you want to check the parental review for like what ages are acceptable to read this book, you can probably see it on Amazon. I know Amazon sometimes, sends out posts is the date, like not the date, but the age groups that it's appropriate for. Or you could also, check whatever other book sources there are. I purchased this book. It's a hardcover. As you can hear that plastic, yeah, that paper cover, it's so good. It's hardcover though, it's hardback, and I purchased this from Target, I believe, not sponsored. And I got it on a good deal. I actually gave this book to a friend of mine. I got her a copy, and then I got my own copy. And I am so glad I did. I hope she enjoys it. I got her the book for Christmas, and then I just fell in love with the fact that it was about Loki, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it for myself too, and that's what I did. And so far, like I said, I enjoy it. It's like a fan fiction, but it doesn't feel like a fan fiction. I say you're probably wondering why I keep saying that. I'm saying that because it's written, within the universe, but it's written about it. And it's like the author's own perspective of things, which I really appreciate. I love when authors do that, like take existing universes, like, Twilight or whatever, and make it into their own thing, like their own dimension. You hardly see that in the world, in like the writing world, though, which gives me more appreciation for the authors that are willing to take that chance and to do it. And the fact that it's such a bestseller, the fact that it's a success just goes to show, it's worth giving it a shot. So that is the book of the cast review. review cast that I will give for you this evening. So I deeply appreciate the fact that you took the time to listen to this cast. Be sure to stay safe in the mid of this coronavirus pandemic. If you have to go out, please do, but be sure to wear gloves or face mask and wash your hands as much as possible. I cannot stress anymore about keeping your hands clean and do not touch your face at all. Just be safe, be smart in whatever you do. Take the time to, just enjoy yourself. Find a good book if you can. Go on Barnes and Nobles. And if you want, do your own little something, something. Like do your own little book review or whatever. I love like going on YouTube or whatever and like listening to different podcasts, recommend books and things like that because this is what I love. I love books. I'm a writer myself, so just enjoy yourself, live your life to the fullest, and wherever you are, have a great night and a good day. God bless.